And thank you very much to everybody who submitted nominations for these awards. We had a really good turnout of applications and nominations, and we're delighted that we're able to recognise the work that so many individuals and organisations are doing towards the preservation of our aviation heritage. We're going to start off with the Individual of the Year. I'm delighted to say that the Individual of the Year is Richard Woods. Richard will be known to many of you. He has masterminded and steered the mammoth undertaking of dismantling the Avro Shackleton WR963 at Coventry Airport and moving her to her new home at Elvington between September 2023 and January 2025. Monumental achievement. It was a complex task, attended to by a team of skilled volunteers, but it was Richard's impetus that started the whole project when the aircraft lost its home at Coventry and has driven it along. And his drive and commitment against an unrelenting time frame, which saw the final dismantling and transport happening in midwinter, just over this most recent winter, have ensured that WR963 has a bright future as a live exhibit at the Yorkshire Air Museum. And unfortunately, Richard is not well at all. He was hoping to be here, but he hasn't made it. So can I ask Gerry to come forward in front of the big screen, Gerry, down at ground level.
On his behalf, can I give you this? Why don't you hold this and then we can congratulate you. And you can pass on our congratulations to Richard. Thank you very much. Let's get a photograph.
Please look at the camera.
He's done a cracking job in getting the aircraft dismantled and getting it shipped up to Elvington, where it's tomorrow, it's hopefully for getting inboard engines fitted. So the fuselage has been reassembled, it's had a clean since that picture was taken. So then the plan is, before the new year, we hope to raise it up onto its undercarriage. So this is coming on leaps and bounds.
And please pass on the congratulations and best wishes from everybody at AHUK.
Thank you very much.
We move to the Organisation of the Year, and I'm delighted to say it's the Aviation Preservation Society of Scotland, and we're delighted to have a giant delegation from APSS here today. Aviation Preservation Society of Scotland wins the award for its outstanding achievement in constructing a flying Sopwith 1.5 strutter, of which there wasn't one left, from original drawings. They've flown it. They've also built a working Supermarine Spitfire simulator, and they're currently constructing World War I Sopwith Pup. So they're achieving a huge amount. I think this is probably the celebration of the first flight of the strutter, 1.5 strutter. This remarkable volunteer-led project demonstrates world-class craftsmanship, authenticity, and dedication to preserving aviation history. And beyond this achievement, North Berwick-based Aviation Preservation Society of Scotland engages the public through talks, education, skills training, inspiring future generations while safeguarding Scotland's aviation legacy. Delighted to have the delegation from APSS here, and I think Mike Carper is coming forward to collect it. Come on, the whole team.
Robert, where you're that's I'm handed to you. We not go. Do you want us to go over a bit?
We'll just do a brief pause while Peter fits a wide-angle lens to his camera.
You're happy on a diet. You hold that. There's the camera. And I'll hold this. Do you want to do this? Okay. Yes.
And if some of the team could smile at the same time.
Smile, guys.
It's fake news.
They left at 4 o'clock this morning. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You did very well done, everybody. Thank you. Such an ambitious, prestigious project.
Thank you.
Thank you very
And
much.
I'm going to give this to Evan, who was in with the bricks. He started the whole project, so. Can I just say a couple of things? First of all, old guys can't high five. They were trying. It's been an absolute honour and a privilege to be recognised by an organisation like this. Small bunch of guys who are determined to do it, and we love what we do, and we are so honoured to receive this award. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we move to the Robert Pleming Memorial Award, which is given in memory of Robert, who was such a driving force not only behind the flying preservation of the Vulcan, but was also such a guiding light within AHUK as my predecessor as chairman. Robert was dedicated to innovation, doing things in different ways. So the number of glass ceilings and others that he broke to get the Vulcan flying was the stuff of legend, and it's a real privilege to us to carry on presenting this annual trophy, which comes with it a financial reward which will be sent straight into the bank account of the recipient organisation, thanks to the efforts of and generosity of Tony, our president. This award comes with a financial contribution as well. So I'm delighted to announce that the winner of this year's Robert Pleming Award is the Medway Aircraft Preservation Society for their restoration of the Shorts Scion GAEZF. This float plane restoration under the leadership of Robin Heaps is a model of innovation in heritage engineering. The aircraft was built in 1937 by Short Brothers at Rochester. We just saw Oswald Short's house being demolished, unfortunately, but this will stand as a legacy to the Short Brothers. It's presented extraordinary challenges. Needless to say, there wasn't complete documentation. The aircraft itself has suffered severe structural degradation and scarcity of original parts. Yeah, not a lot of these made, not a lot of bits left. Overcoming these obstacles has required both traditional craftsmanship and some pioneering new methods. They included reverse engineering of missing elements using a blend of surviving technical drawings, digital modelling, and some great engineering expertise. They've employed advanced conservation techniques to stabilise fragile original materials while integrating modern replacements that remain visually and structurally faithful. And the innovative project management led by Robin, which combined skilled volunteers, professional support and funding partners to deliver the restoration to time and to budget. And then, having done this wonderful restoration, they have gone a whole step further maybe it's the most innovative outcome of all. Not only was the aircraft restoration completed, but then the whole thing was transferred to Rochester Cathedral in August 2025 and put on display inside the cathedral for a period of 3 months. As an exhibition centrepiece, it transformed, obviously, an historic place of worship into an immersive exhibition space. And this reimagined how heritage aircraft can be displayed and made accessible to audiences far beyond the traditional aviation museum visitors. This is a truly groundbreaking idea, and the project demonstrates that innovation in aviation heritage is not only about engineering solutions, but also about rethinking how restored aircraft and other parts of our aviation heritage can actually be put in front of new audiences. This is a truly exceptional piece of work by Medway, and I'm delighted to invite a pair of Peters up onto the stage to collect the award. Where are you? Come on.
Very well done. Amazing. This is a beautiful award. Come on and just wait there. That's the manager. Good. Is that okay there? Yeah. Is that the right view of the Vulcan? So you point this. You need to drop it. Here's the camera. Yeah. Very well done. This is the most beautiful model of the Vulcan. It was commissioned by AHUK, and Brian liaised with the company which had it specially made for us. It's a one of a kind. We thought it's especially important to remember Robert Pleming, not only for his work on the Vulcan, but we're so grateful to him for what he did for AHUK while he was chairman. But at this point, some of you will remember, the previous 2 chairmen of Aviation Heritage UK both died in the saddle. So that's why I'm very keen interest in animals' health. And we lost Robert suddenly, and we all miss him very much. So in his memory, thank you very much once again.
Just be careful, the Vulcan has a tendency to fly.
Fly away, right. I'd just like to add, obviously, as you've read out, I'm not Robin Heaps. I'm just a small part of his team. And the other Peter is, who wasn't expected to be called up. So,
Can he come up and have his photograph taken?
Well, it's up to him.
Would you have your photograph taken?
He's a bit shyer than me.
We'd like to have you.
Because he was part of the team as well.
We would like to have you.
Yeah. Actually, the agreement was you drive and I'll do the talk.
Teamwork. Why don't you stand in the middle there? And then we'll have a photograph taken. There's the camera.
Vulcan between you. Let's use it that way.
Is that better?
Take it the other way. So between the 2 of you.
Sorry.
Thank you
Try
very
not to
much.
shake.
Congratulations.
Just to add to what you said, the aircraft was in the cathedral for a month. We had 59,000 visitors, which broke their records. And it was a mixture of and it was very successful with their funds as well. One of the driving things about this that's come out is that we're trying to re-establish the drive to have a museum for the Short Brothers. Chatham's got its museum for the Navy. There's nothing for Short Brothers, whereas equally as big in its way as an employer for many, many years. So we're trying to get a drive for a museum so that the plane can go there. Plus we've got a Popjoy engine. and one or two other bits. So yeah, so we hope that will push that forward.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ford. Great.
A little mention of innovation for you, because I was lucky enough to go and take photos of the aeroplane with about 3 days' notice getting down there, because we hadn't heard anything about it. But one of the lovely things they did, they had it parked in the main area, looking towards the main doors. So as you walked in, you saw this nose-on thing. Sadly, they wouldn't let me up in the rafters to shoot it down. But one of the lovely things that I think they probably used a drone gentleman to fabricate a flight of the aeroplane out of the doors of the cathedral over the Medway River, because the whole thing, relative to shorts, wasn't connected with aeroplanes as much as with the seaplane history, which all carried on the Medway. So this drone then flew as if you were in the side over the Medway estuary, and then flew it back through the doors into them. So even a little thing like that, which is using modern technology to show and magic the public, was innovative in its own mind. So this whole project, as soon as I walked in, was that's Pleming. It's just such a full of innovation. Take the history to the people, not expect the interested people to come and see the history. And there was far more interpretation about the shorts history, showcases, objects. There was a sit-down place for kids to actually have time on a flight sim, modern, ancient, big TV shots of Solents, etc. flying. It was just a feast of interpretation. There's more pictures coming up now. So, congratulations, you inspired us. Unfortunately, we had a way of thanking you.
Right, the life out of us.
It was obviously done on a wing and a prayer.
Can I just remind those who've collected those trophies, we're not finished yet, but those who've collected trophies, we have boxes for them available. Right, we'll move on to Lifetime Achievement Awards, which we're presenting in strictly alphabetical order. These are an opportunity to celebrate the work and recognise the achievements of people who've worked for many years within the heritage movement, and it's just our way of saying thank you on behalf of the whole sector to these people who've done so much to make sure that aviation heritage is preserved and presented to the public. We've got 7 awards, I think, to do today. Unfortunately, quite a few of the people who are receiving these awards are just not able, for all sorts of reasons, a lot of them to do with age and infirmity, to actually be able to be here today, but we've got either the recipient or somebody here to collect them on their behalf, and we'll be trying to make sure that they are properly presented to the recipients where they're back in their home environments. First one I'm delighted to say is to Ray Burrows of the Ulster Aviation Society. The Ulster Aviation Society was established in 1968 and counted Ray amongst its founders. He's remained a pivotal member, serving on the committee for much of the Society's lifetime and becoming chairman in 2012. Society was awarded the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service in 2018. 2019, Ray was awarded an MBE for services to aviation heritage. He pioneered the Society's growth into a hub for heritage education and preservation, focused on Northern Ireland's significant contribution to global aviation. And thanks largely to Ray, the Society boasts the largest collection of aircraft on the island, 850 plus members, and remains 100% volunteer driven. Ray, please come forward.
It looks authentic. Wow. Come over here, look. Wait for me. That's it. Good.
Thank you.
It's a long way to come. Thank you so much for coming. Why don't you bring your coffee? Come on up.
So,
Where Very nice. Oh, there it is. Why don't you hold this in the middle? You hold that in the middle, and then that's it. That's it.
Did you know this?
Of course it is. Good. Well done. And last night we proposed having a special weekend visit and have our meeting in Belfast. I'd like you to think if you'd be up for a dinner the night before Friday night, as we usually do in the meetings in Belfast, a day at the centre where we're all learn a lot, and then an evening dinner, and then sightseeing on Sunday and come home Sunday afternoon. So we'll start planning that with your permission, and maybe in 27, I think that might be something we can look forward to. But if you could all start thinking about how you might arrange to come.
Folks, I just want to say a few words. As you can see, I'm dressed for the event. This is a complete out-of-the-blue surprise to me. The Ulster Aviation Society has been a member for probably 20 years or more, and I have to be honest and say we always felt a little bit left out of it because we never seemed to get a mention for anything. We offered to host the meeting, I think, way back in the early 2000s, and I think there was 3 members actually said they would be prepared to come. That was a little bit disappointing. The Society, I wouldn't like to say it, but under my leadership maybe has become a more stable financial organisation. We've increased now over 900 members. We started off when we moved to Longcase with 8 aircraft. We now have 48 aircraft. We have 2 incredible hangars which have been restored, and it reminds me to send Julian some pictures of the restoration of the hangars that has taken place. We haven't paid for it, the government has paid for it. I'd like to think it's part of my tax. Even though I'm retired, I still pay tax, so as far as I'm concerned, my tax goes towards the hangar restoration. We have over 80 volunteers. We have one of the most passionate volunteer teams that I've ever come across, and John and I have volunteered to go and visit a lot of your museums, so we like to draw comparisons, but we reckon we have one of the most outstanding group of volunteers ever that I've come across, and this isn't just an achievement for me. It gives me the greatest pleasure to do what I do, and I have the most fantastic team on board of trustees. But I would like to thank Aviation Heritage UK for this. This means an awful lot, and well, thank you.
Next, we want to honour somebody who has been working in the heritage sector for 62 years. Martin Clark, in the Cotswold area and with other organisations. His determination and passion to preserve historic aircraft have seen him applying his engineering skills from his days with Doughty propellers, balancing a professional career as he did with a focus on heritage aviation. He contributed much innovative early support to the nationally strategic airframe preservation of a number of aircraft, including Sea Hurricane, Gloucester Gladiator in the 1970s. In 63 to 78, first as a cadet, he supported Peter Thomas's private and much missed Skyfame UK Museum at Staverton, and amongst his projects have been being the project lead on the restoration of the Gloucester-built Hawker Typhoon cockpit at the Jet Age Museum, which he named in tribute to his wife Michelle, and saving the ex-RAF Innsworth Gloucester Meteor Gate Guardian. He's played a key role in liaising on the supply of spares for Osters and piston provosts, and was one of the 125 people who completed training modules under the BAPC National Aviation Heritage Skills Initiative, much missed, but which we hope to relaunch once again sometime in the next 12 months, depending on some developments taking place elsewhere. Unfortunately, Martin is not with us today, but Nick Parker is here from Cotswold Aircraft Preservation Group. And Nick, would you please come up and collect And again, Nick, if you could smile for the camera, that would be really helpful.
Thank you.
Pass on, Mark.
I will. Yeah, I nominated Martin. I've known him for some 30 years, since I joined CARG. He's always been willing to aid any technical expertise, even to machine a small vice for me to hold some springs together. He said, oh, I know how to do that, and machined it up, and it worked perfectly. He's always been an inspiration in looking after aircraft and trying to preserve as much as possible. And he's always actually been in the back. He's never sought the limelight. He's always been there to support things. And I felt this was a recognition of his achievements after all this time. So, you know, I nominated him for this award, thinking he's well deserved. Unfortunately, Martin isn't well enough to come to this and receive the award, but as CARG, next meeting, we'll try and present it to him.
So you can complete the circle and you can present it to him.
That's right, yeah,
Okay.
lovely. So thank you very much for this. This is brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Next is a name that will be familiar to many, many of you. It's the aviation photographer Peter Cooper. Peter has had pretty much a lifetime interest in Farnborough, and as well as photographing for his airclaims work, he's maintained a photographic record of R&D at Farnborough, as well as many of the changes that have taken place on the site over the years, including documenting the demolition of the main factory site at Farnborough, and his collections are held as historic records at the Farnborough Air Sciences Trust Museum in Farnborough. And not content with just Farnborough, he's kept a detailed photographic archive of aircraft on test at Boscombe Down, and that's culminated in a serious collection of aircraft history at that most important test airfield. Peter's not able to be with us, but Graham Rood of FAST, who looks after the archive there, is here, fortunately, to collect the award on behalf of Peter.
Very good.
Just tip it that way a bit. That's it. This way. Yeah, anything that gets the light reflected on it. Thank you.
Good. I'm going to pass on our congratulations. Yeah, it's very appropriate you can do it. Good.
To say a few words, Peter was absolutely delighted when I told him, and he sort of sends his apologies for not being able to come, but he's been doing some cancer treatment and he's a bit frail. I've known Peter for some 30 years, particularly when RAE changed and initially closed. We took over their glass plate negative collection. Peter and I worked on it, and we've worked on it ever since. What we're doing now is making sure that Peter's collection, and in fact his father's collection, Jeff Cooper, who was a Ministry of Works man who built Cell 4 at Pystock, make sure they're not being lost. And we've just taken a lot of his photographs from Boscombe Down. So we're slowly working our way through them. They're getting higher and higher. Thanks very much indeed, Don.
I don't know if you're aware, but FASD FAST prevented a major crime about 30 years ago taking place because the new owners of DRA decided to scrap things, and the Canucks insisted it was all their records, all their archives were scrapped, meaning put into the tip, into the skips. And the early members of FAST used to go there in the dark at night and take it all out again. Because it would have been a real major crime. All that history of Farnborough have been demolished.
And now, we've been hearing from Julian earlier about threats to our historic airfields, and our next recipient is one of those who's been fighting those battles. Paul Francis of the Airfield Research Group. Paul spent most of his adult life researching, recording and publishing material relating to British airfield development, architecture and associated infrastructure. He's published several definitive books on the subject, covering British military airfields, control towers, airfield defences. He's a founder member of ARG and has held several management positions within the organisation. He's a trained archaeologist and continues to provide heritage consultancy support to many companies and organisations. His research and contribution have led to countless Second World War and Cold War aviation structures being listed and preserved for the nation, and we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Paul and his work. Paul's not able to be here, but Sarah Botfield is, and is going to collect the trophy on his behalf. Is she here? Sarah. You stay back there. No, she was due to be here. Sorry, we will make sure that Paul gets that award, and we will record our thank you. Next recipient is Gerry Hitch. Gerry has been a vital cog at Brooklands Museum almost since it was established. He's volunteered at the museum since 1994, so was awarded his 30-year badge at the museum last year. He's been instrumental in many aviation projects across the museum, and I've been associated with the museum for 29 years now, and Gerry's been a fixture in all that time. Most notably, his work has been on the restorations of the various VC-10s, complete and incomplete, which Brooklands is the proud custodian of, and he's been leading the team who've been working on redisplaying the cockpit sections and refurbishing the interiors to create the best possible visitor experience, enhancing Brooklands' story with the VC-10, which of course is the last great complete airliner developed solely at Brooklands and built solely at Brooklands. Gerry's an inspiration to everybody at the museum, been a vital source of knowledge and support to those within the VC-10 team as well as the staff, sharing his knowledge for future generations to use and to learn from. Gerry is not able to travel, but we're delighted that Andy Lambert is going to tear himself away from the camera and come and collect this trophy, this certificate on Gerry's behalf, and it will be formally presented to Gerry at the next Volunteer Recognition Awards at Brooklands next month. You're allowed to smile as well, Andy.
Just want to say something about this. Gerry, I haven't actually worked with him, strangely enough, all the years I've been there, but I know of his work and what he does. And he is typical of the volunteers of Brooklands, who are such an incredible bunch, that they really are. Sadly, many of them are disappearing now because we're all getting old. But it doesn't alter the fact that this is a great award for him and all the other volunteers there. The second thing I'd like to say is that those who've got awards tonight, if you email me, I'm quite happy to cut your bit out of the video and send it to you to put on Facebook and things like that.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Right, next on the list is one of those from another far-flung corner of our membership, John Phillips, a lifetime helicopter enthusiast, long-serving member of the Helicopter Museum. In 2002, he was able to acquire the remaining incomplete airframe of the Saunders Roe Skeeter AOP-12 XL 765 and began his search for sufficient components to complete a rebuild to static display condition. With his son-in-law Adrian Brimson, this was finally achieved in 2023, but by then, owing to failing health, John and Adrian came to the reluctant conclusion that a new home must be found for their helicopter. This early skeeter had been built at the Sarro factory in East Cowes on the Isle of Wight, and John had long felt that he'd eventually like to return it to its place of origin. He offered it to the White Aviation Museum, which gladly accepted it, and it now enjoys pride of place and is a major attraction for visitors to the White Aviation Museum. This was an amazing long-term restoration, a huge amount of work that John has given to the sector over the years with the Helicopter Museum and now placing this aircraft with the White Aviation Museum. Obviously, John's failing health meant that he's not a regular commuter to the mainland, but Jonathan Lamb is here from White Aviation Museum to accept this on John's behalf, and I'm sure it's going to be presented with due ceremony to John at the museum.
Pass on my respects. Yes, and to John Camping as well. A few words to the prayer. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
Yes, thank you. John has no idea that we put him forward for this, and he is not able to travel to receive it, but we'll be visiting him en masse at his home as soon as we can. You can imagine John started off his ambition to have a helicopter. Fortunately for us, it was a Saunders Road Skeeter, which is small enough to fit into a small lorry for its transportation back to the Isle of Wight. It's a good thing it wasn't a Chinook, otherwise it would still be in motion now. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we're delighted to recognise somebody who's already been onto the stage. Many have lauded the Farnborough Air Sciences Trust's contribution to aviation heritage. Single-handedly, as a group, it's safeguarded and championed the work of the RAE, and without FAST's determined efforts, and that's the people at FAST more than anything else, vast amounts, as Tony has already said, of aeronautical research produced at Farnborough would not be easily available and accessible to researchers and others, and it could well have been lost. Last year, we were able to acknowledge three of the founders of FAST, and they've been rightly lauded for their achievements last year. And the missing cog in that whole thing was the outstanding contribution that's been made by Dr. Graham Rood in that time. As FAST's official and unofficial curator for around 25 years, he's led the collecting, conserving and research of the museum's ever-growing collections, written RAE history, and most importantly, welcomed and enthused countless researchers to mine their collections and to help other people understand the history of the RAE and Farnborough. So it's an enormous pleasure to award to Graham a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. It's a great honour to accept this. I'm going to bring out the old cliche, it's a team effort. So all our people doing cataloguing, sorting stuff out, we were quite lucky to be left, well, we had to fight for it, but we were left with the RAE collection, including all the RAE historical work and things like that. And that is, we have a very large archive, a very small museum, and we run out of space like everybody else. So effectively, one of the main things that in the very early days, Tony helped us immensely by finding out of the air when he was at a
board meeting,
And I think Richard Gardner rang him up and said, can you let us have £10,000? And in those days, you didn't have to go through the system. I think Tony said yes. And that allowed us to do that. We live in awe at Farnborough of those of you who rebuild Shackletons, Beverleys and everything and move them. To us, that's an amazing achievement. Our aircraft, the biggest one I think we have is either a Jaguar or a Hunter. We saved a Hunter from a scrapyard up near Oxford, one of the IEM Hunters. But that's about the biggest we ever do. So thank you very much. It's a wonderful organisation, and we're very proud to accept this. Thank you.
And our last awardee of the day is Kelvin Sloper, who's given a remarkable 35 years of service as Treasurer of the City of Norwich Aviation Museum. And Kelvin's commitment, integrity and attention to detail ensured the museum's finances were managed and with transparency and care, and laying the foundation for its continued growth. We've talked about how City of Norwich have absorbed collections from other people in recent years. And beyond his financial stewardship, Kelvin has been a trusted colleague, always ready to support projects and share his passion for heritage. His dedication over more than 3 decades exemplifies outstanding voluntary service and makes him a truly deserving recipient of this honour. I don't think Kelvin is here, but somebody's here from City of Norwich. They are indeed.
That's a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, Kelvin did send me an email. Prudence of treasurers means they don't spend a lot of money on petrol. Kelvin says he's deeply honoured to receive this award. Thank you for recognising my efforts and presenting me with this Lifetime Achievement Award. Receiving the award serves as a reminder of the amazing people at City of Norwich Aviation Museum who I've been privileged to volunteer with over the years. I thank both them and my family for their support. Without this award, this recognition would not have been possible. Kelvin's one of the most stoic people I think I've ever met. Prudence is his middle name. And as most of you know, it's a little bit a precarious business running museums. And I don't think City of Norwich Aviation Museum would still be here without that prudence. He has stepped down recently as Treasurer after 36 years, which is an amazing. I don't know what he does with all his time now. I really don't. But Kelvin asked me to thank you very much for that, obviously. And I will present that to him at our next board meeting next week. Thank you very much.
Pass on our respects.
And just one last thing on awards. We're very conscious of the fact that we recognise lifetime achievement. We recognise truly heroic contributions by individuals and groups. And sometimes we might not be covering the waterfront people who should be recognised, especially those who are younger and who are doing a great job for the sector, and people who've made remarkable contributions in slightly less than a lifetime. And thanks to our recently reconstituted member, Ross Sharp, we're going to introduce a new award for next year, honouring the younger people who have made a contribution to aviation heritage. We are all so dependent on the rise of the next generation to take the skills from you people and keep on applying them in the future. And the trophy has not yet been turned into the full trophy that will be presented this time next year. But Ross has given us this lovely Battle of Britain tankard, which has on it the names of all the fighter stations at which the Battle of Britain squadrons were based in that period in 1940. It's a lovely piece of pewter. Ross has had it in his care ever since the great Finningley flying displays ceased to be, and Ross was given this as a memento of his days with Finningley, and it's now going to become an AHUK trophy for younger people and will be presented for the first time next year. And thank you very much, Ross, for having given us this lovely thing.